it's Sherri from A Quilting Life. I'm here today to share my finishing for my Brightly Sampler Sew Along from our Family Favorites book, and I'm also going to share the next row in our Harbor Row quilt. This is actually the last row that we will be doing, and so we're going to be talking all about the sun row. Since this sew along is pretty much winded down, I thought it would be just great to combine it with this one. And so we are coming to you, I guess about a week late for this, but right on time for the final row of the Harbor Sew Along. Now let's go ahead and get started. Okay, so let's talk a little bit about the Brightly sampler first. We were supposed to finish a week ago on August 28th, but as I mentioned, I decided to kind of combine this with our Harbor Sew Along and do both posts on one video. And if you've watched my works in progress, you've seen this already. The last time I shared it, I had not finished the binding though, and I did get that finished. So super excited about that, got that finished up. And again, if you missed that video, I used the 108-inch wide fabric from our Favorite Things collection, which was a Christmas collection from a few years ago. For my backing, I actually had a piece left over that was just the right size and used that, which kind of gives it a really, those 108-inch backings are just really soft, and you can almost just like fold up the quilts and they're just really, really crumbly. I can't wait to wash it. I don't know if crumbly is the right word, but anyway, I did use the gingham from Raspberry Summer for the binding. And so, yeah, this quilt is super simple to put together. You will find the finishing instructions in the book on page 17. And it's basically just plain sashing strips and sashing squares. And I just went ahead and used the tone-on-tone background for all of my sashing. And I picked one of the prints. I don't think I used this one in the quilt at all. And oh, actually right there I did, but that might be the only place I used it. So since I had used it the least of the other red prints, I chose that one for my little cornerstone post. And it's really just a simple straight setting, and you'll have this one put together. I'm super, super excited to have this finished, and I do love the quilting pattern by Miriam Bott. I did just add the outer border is just a tone on tone. If you wanted to make it bigger, it would be really easy to add another border outside of this one. I feel like if you were going to do that, I would cut it, your outer border after this one, at either in between 4 and 5 inches. I think that would make it a really nice size. And that would bring the quilt to close to 70 by 80 if you did that, which would definitely make it a bigger bed-size quilt. So I hope that you've enjoyed the Family Favorites quilt along from our book, Family Favorites. And again, there are just so many other quilts in here. If you've purchased the book for this project, you've got other quilts you can make with blocks of different sizes. We have some pillows and even some little mini pillows, and it's just been, I feel like, a really great resource for a beginner or even an intermediate quilter or even an advanced quilter that just wants a quick and fun project. Okay, let's move on to the Harbor sampler. Okay, so this month we are doing the suns, and I did save them for last because they do have a lot of pieces, but honestly they are not difficult at all. So in my original quilt I did, you know, the 2 orange suns, and I kind of reversed the outer and the inners on those. And then I did the same thing with the yellow suns on the outer edges, and then I did a red sun. And I kind of mix and matched here with the red and used different reds. You can do whatever you want, and these outer half square triangles are just super fun also. I liked having a little bit of contrast between each of them, and I just went and used all the ginghams. So it was super fun to do. So for my sample block, I just wanted to show you. It really is easy. So the center unit is just a square and 4 background squares. I use the mini simple folded corners ruler. I know I talk about that a lot, and that is what the back looks like on that one. Okay, then you've got your 4 half square triangles that make up the 4 outer sides, and so you'll use 2 print squares and 2 background squares to do that. And again, in the pattern it will show you to make them, and then you will actually trim them down to the perfect size. Then you're going to make 4 quarter square triangle units, and I actually did this by cutting 2 background squares and 2 print squares diagonally twice. And sometimes I make them using the method where you make a half square triangle first, and then we've actually got a video on that. But this time I actually did diagonally cut them into 4 pieces because I wanted everything directional. I wanted all of these hearts throughout my block to be going the same way. Now you don't have to do that, but I did want to do it. And I also wanted to have my background fabric. There are little tiny hearts that are hard to see, but I wanted them all to be going the same direction as well. So I used that method. It's shown in the pattern. It's super easy. Now these little side units are put together exactly the way that you make the center unit. I just use the mini simple folded corner ruler, and that's what they look like on the outside. So what you do is you take a quarter square triangle unit and 2 little side units, and you sew them together to make 1 piece. And so you will actually do that for each set. So you'll have 4 of these. And then you're just going to sew the left and the right together to your center, and you'll sew these units to your squares, and there you have your sun. It is not difficult or complicated, but like I said, there are a lot of pieces, and so that's why I did save it for last. I did want to mention too, I've been having so much fun making all these little sample blocks to share with you, and I am going to do something together with these little sample blocks along with my sun block when I finish sewing it together. So these are a little bit smaller. The house, the basket, the flower, the leaf, the tulip, and the star. These are all the same size, but the sun is larger. So I'm going to come up with a creative way to put this together, and I will share that with you next month. And so at that time, I'll share with you the little mini that I've put up together, and I'll also give you tips for putting your rows together, because you might get all of your rows finished and you might find that some of them are the same size, but some of them are bigger and some of them are smaller. And so if you're not sure what to do in that situation, I do have some tips that I'm going to share with you next month. So it's really been great. I know some of you have worked ahead of time and already have your quilts finished, but I do have more for you. So be sure to come back next month and we'll talk about the little mini with the sample blocks, and we'll talk about setting it all together. Okay, so that's it for my finished Brightly Sampler sew-along quilt. I hope that you enjoyed that sew-along. It really was just a low-key, easy to keep up with sew-along, and we'll have to do something fast and easy like that again one of these days. And then for Harbor, I will be back once more to just kind of give you tips for putting it all together. There are some different things that I can help you with, especially if your rows have come out to be different lengths. There's some easy ways that we can adjust and put this all together so that it comes out just perfectly for you. So if you enjoyed today's video, please share it with a friend, hit the like button, and subscribe to our channel if you haven't already. Thanks so much for stopping by.